Hi everyone, I hope you were able to watch the video on all 8 steps together, and I hope you were able to watch step 1, consume. And this is step 2, verbalize. This is the second step of 8, and they all go together, especially steps 1 and 2, because we're talking about different language theories that go in each step. And just to review, the verbalize step is no longer something that we want in terms of calling it discussion. We started doing that early on in M.A.S.T, and we thought we're promoting the bad term because what we had was theologians and pastors engaging in these long discussions. And what the problem is with that is not the discussion, the problem is the timeline. We are working with short-term memory. And as you consume a chapter, you have 5 to 7 minutes of new information. Well, then you have it where you want to move it along the process. You have another 5 to 7 minutes for doing something more with more information, or 7 to 11 minutes for doing something further with that information. So it's not a lot of time that you have your short-term memory active. And why is that important? Is because you want to do something with it and capture it. What we're going for here is translation and meaning-based translation, and so you want to preserve the wide picture of what the meaning is and then focus it on the narrow picture of what meaning is. Okay, and so you have chunks coming a little bit later. That's the narrow meaning. The wide picture is the context. This is stimulating the brain so it holds it. Okay, and this is the important step to that. So input-output hypothesis basically says language coming in the brain needs to process out of the brain. The reason this is critical is because you're now taking a funnel of learners. Learners are very diverse. Everybody has preference, learning style. We talked about that in step 1. Some might like to consume reading the text. Others might want to hear it. Others might want to walk around and read it out loud. That's learner preference. The second thing, though, is learner strength. Learner strength is based on language skill for this. Reading, writing, speaking, listening. Every learner has a different strength of skill. Some read better, some listen better, some verbalize better. Whatever it is that their strength is, you want to play off of that and give them that combination. Input-output allows this to happen. Here's what it does. It basically says language comes in the brain, I consumed. Now language comes out of the brain, I verbalize. And what happens is inside the brain, we don't get to see this. Okay, as the one side of the brain, imagine this, here's the fingers and they have neurons to it. Okay, these neurons are reading, writing, speaking, listening. This is preferences. I have different things that I want to do. Because I'm verbalizing it and I'm meeting my preferences with my strength, I'm actually growing language and putting it in a holding tank, and I'm moving it towards long-term memory. As this occurs, I now have the ability to capture it, hold it, and move it through the next steps of MAST methodology. So verbalize is doing that. It's stimulating the brain. Too many times we want to see something. We want proof that something's going on. Well, the proof is up here. God's wired our brains to do certain things, and it's actually active to have growth all the time. And if we don't allow that to happen, it doesn't happen. And so the activity is just the activity. Verbalize it. Okay, and think about it like this. As I'm in a Bible study and I go through and I hear something, what is the best way for you to hold that learning? You repeat it in your own terms. You repeat it in the way that you actually expressed it. I just read a chapter, and so I took it in, and so now I have the context, and then I repeat it in a way that I want to express it out to someone else. It's not inaccurate, it's just loose enough to where I can fully grab that context, hold it, and begin to build the framework of what's coming next. And what's coming next is chunking, and I'll talk about chunking in the next video. I hope you can connect all of these. You can watch the first one on consume, and you can watch this one, and then you can watch the next one on chunking. Please go see that one next in your own time of when you can catch up to it. Thank you very much.